Hey, Lori here with a voice in the dark. I know it's been a while. I've been taking some time out to try to, kind of refocus. What do you say in this day and age right now, right? You got all kinds of absurd crap going on. Then you got all the wars going on, and everybody's acting just a little peculiar, to say the least. Definitely out of uh, what do you call it? Normal. And matter of fact, I have a feeling there is no more normal. But I think what it is that this should be putting all of us not on edge and negative. I think what it should be doing is making all of us think, where in the hell do we want to be? Screw these guys. Screw all of them, however you want to look at it. We vote them in office. We can take them out of office. The thing is that we need to decide, do we want the democracy that we had a long time ago, what our forefathers set up, put the regulations back in effect that, keeps the conglomerates down to nothing so that we can have fair trade and comparable prices and truth in the media, bust all that crap up real quick, so that they have to go out there and fight and get us the real news, the truth. I think we need to demand truth, and we really, really need to demand democracy to be put back in place, no matter how we have to tear it down, what they've done. I think we need to really take a look at things. It's just, I think it's up to each one of us to really sit and think, what is important to us? And is it important to us for the greater good of all? Because if that's true, then democracy is one of the best things out there that has ever proven to be helpful for the greater good of all, including the wealthy who haven't paid a damn thing in I don't know how long. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of paying for the wealthy and the poor. I don't mind the poor because they can't help it. The wealthy are the ones that give us all the jobs. There are no jobs. We got piss poor out there. And but we also might work for the upper echelons, but guess what? We buy their products. We are not even encouraged to have quality anymore. They aren't. They want us to buy new shit and spend our money even more every year. And I don't know about you, but I don't like plastic, and I don't like polyester. I think both of them suck. And who wants them, And what happened to quality, and good old American blue jeans with, good old American cotton, durable, long lasting. And this real thin fabric that they're giving us is a joke. I just think that everything has become so comical and so such an affront in our faces to show us how gullible we are and how trying to show us how little and insignificant we are. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel little and insignificant. I feel important and just as valuable as anybody else on this planet. And screw them. That's how I feel. And yes, I'm supposed to be a light worker. And yes, I'm supposed to be positive and loving and all that. But come on, they're the ones that are creating the fucking circus out there. What are we going to do about it? Do you know that they keep us from ascending every time when we finally get to that moment of love where almost everybody on the planet has a good heart, and then they send us into war, big war, and then the greater gods out there think, well, the humans, their hearts are hardened. Well, yeah, they're hardened because we're scared to death of what's going to happen next. And they've got us believing it will happen. None of this was our fault. But we can change it. We can change it by first changing us inside, by understanding that none of this was our fault. And we can settle down a little bit and start deep breathing and open our hearts and open ourselves to God again, to all that is, the source, the greatest of all things. If you use Buddha, Jesus, whoever, it's okay. Just go through your grades. But get to it. And tell them that you are ready to be an integral part of Source as you were meant to be, and you want to make a difference. Teach me. And let the universe, like God got us all that is, teach you how to be and a mover and a shaker. How that your voice is just as important and your beingness is just as important as the guy next to you and the one above you and the one below you. We're all equal here. We just are living different life paths. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, there's nothing wrong with any of us. The only ones telling us that there's anything wrong with us is the Shallan above, who want to control the world. And in a lot of ways, they already do, but now they're getting really stupid about it. And greedy and impossible, and they think it's funny. They're laughing in our faces every day. and quite frankly, I can't blame them because nobody's doing anything. I don't say get up in arms and fight back that way. That doesn't work. Never does. Look at them. They're fighting all the time. They never get anything solved. Every war we've ever had didn't solve a fucking thing. Oh, a little bit of peace here and there, and somebody showed off they had a bigger dick than the other one, by a bigger bomb. So we all know that that doesn't work. But Eleanor Roosevelt knew what did work. She knew that conversation, communication, and the basic human rights for humans is where the key ticket is. Now, there's a lot of countries that didn't want to be part of that. A handful. Now, they got into it later because they realized that there was something to it. But we are, number one, we're not just human. We are actually spirits. We are souls from another dimension way out there. We're light beings, all of us. But we got kind of stranded here and stuck here because we forgot who we were. And I'm beseeching all of you to try to remember who you are. And let your light shine through so bright that no matter what stupidity they throw at us on the TV screen, on the radio, on the internet, that your light shines so bright that it blinds out everything stupid they're doing. Because let me tell you something. The universe is looking at us, not them. They get to rule this way. That's their thing, But we don't get to follow them if we don't want to. We get to be ourselves, our unique, authentic selves. God expected us to make mistakes. He expected us to experience everything we could experience here because, my God, when we're a light being, we don't experience any of these things. It's kind of a gift when we come down here, except this is the hardest school in the known universe because when you come here, you forget who you are. They erase our memories. It is a trial and error, and we're at a point right now where we are about to juxtaposition ourselves into the fifth dimension. Now, many people will be stuck in the third. A lot will be in the fourth dimension. There's only a small handful that's even going to make the fifth dimension right away. But some of us have been there, and we can be a bridge for you to help you. What you got to understand is it's up to every individual. This isn't done by groups. This isn't done by religion. It is done by spirit. It's done by your own soul. And it is your heart that is the key and the greater good of all. Because as light beings, there is no right or wrong in the universe. It takes both things. It's how we perceive it. There is negative and positive because that's what makes the universe work. But our perception is to see a lesson in everything and not hold judgments or grudges or resentments or anything negative. When they say you go into the dark night of your soul, has nothing to do with you being a mean motherfucker or a tough son of a bitch. Matter of fact, it has everything to do with your guilt, your shame, your judgments. It's everything personal that's a negative emotion that keeps your heart closed a little bit more and a little bit more. This is about owning up to what you are, your fears, your insecurities that created the judgments and the, everything. And we all have them. I don't care how prolific you think you are. We all have them because we've all been hurt in some format, either in past lives, well, they call them parallel lives or whatever. We're going to call it past lives to make it make sense for us. They say it all happens at the same time, whatever. It still affects us. So, if we got through it or not, and if we're still holding pain from there. I had a shit ton of crap I kept from the beginning, and my first lifetime here was a nightmare. And anyway, that's where we're at right now. So, as we're watching the fools put on the show around the world, because that's what they are, they're a bunch of fools and they're putting on a show because they can. They know that this is the end of this era. They know it's the end of the world as we know it. They know that we're getting ready to move into a new cycle. They're trying to set themselves up to be the pharaohs of the next cycle. And in the process, they are doing what they call the culling. The culling is removal of nondescript, non-soul entities on the planet that are used as backdrop for us to feel like we have a real scenario going on for the world. So some of the people that are being hurt and killed are backdrop people. So there's a lot of people disappearing around the world while we're watching wars and while we're watching whatever shenanigans they got going on in the courts and whatever for us to watch. There's a lot of people disappearing all over the earth. Poverty. Most of them are in poverty that I started noticing about 15, 20 years ago. And that's how I learned about the culling. And the reason they're acting so obnoxious to all of us and just arrogant is because they know what's going on. We don't. Most of us don't have a clue. And it is the end of the world as we know it. The book of Revelations was the book of time, the timing of the reveal, where the veils are lifted, truth is seen, we find out who we are, and this time we actually had enough light beings on the planet to help hold the energy of love and light to make it to 5D and get us out of here and get us to grow up and go home. Because we don't even belong in 5D, we belong in 9D. So, if you, some of you are going to get stuck in 3D though, because some of you just can't wrap your mind around it. I get it, it's okay, but you need to hear these words anyway. And you need to remember them, because they're going to wipe your memories and start a new cycle. It won't be nice. It's going to be horrible. And that's how they trap us here. They just give us horrid crap over and over and over and over again. Until we finally start getting big enough and grow big enough that we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we start putting our feet down a little bit. And they don't want us to stand up now. Yeah, all the spiritual stuff you're hearing is, you're a light being, you're a light being. You must be happy and hold the love and light. That's all you got to do. I can't. I can hold enough light and love to hold the earth and make sure she gets to 5D all by my lonesome if I wanted to. But what I'm telling you now is that I couldn't keep my mouth shut either, because I think people need to know what's going on and be part of the change that you want to see. not in a violent way, in a good way, in a positive way. And if you're having trouble with that, and you're having trouble daily, or just you can't even wrap your mind around any of this, that's okay. Wrap your mind around one thing every day. Some intention that you can do good for the world. It will help, and it'll help you. Finding love in our hearts and opening our hearts back up can be very difficult in times like this, but this is when it's needed the most. And find one thing every day that you can do something positive for the world or for yourself. Love yourself. Start working on yourself. Start ignoring the news, ignoring the bullshit going on, and start loving yourself, and love yourself so much that someone else will figure out how to love you just by the way you love yourself. And do little acts of kindness, simple acts of kindness. Those ripple effects work wonders. And I promised myself I wouldn't go off on this dissertation because I was trying to be more loving and gentle and kind, and but I cannot look at the absurd ways that the elite are sticking their tongues out at us and saying, ha ha ha, look at you little sheep. Well, we're not sheep. We never were. Matter of fact, in the universe, we actually are higher ranked than they are by a long shot. Don't forget that. Don't ever forget your value in the universe. And if that's all you got to cling to, then you cling to it. And you open your heart and you know that you are bigger and better than the rest of the clowns. And the clowns are making themselves well known right now, so it won't be hard to not identify them. It'll be easy to identify them. But your value, Jesus Christ tried to come here and teach you your value, and to be different than the status quo. Not to fit in a box, not to fit in everything, to do it different. Now you have no choice but to find ways to do it different, the way he wanted you to. And when he said, Father will see to it that you have whatever you need, he meant it. So when you're having trouble and you're worried, just say, God's got my back. God's got my money. God's got my this. God's got my that. He's got my food. He's got my where I'm going to take my next shit. However far you got to go with it, you go with it, because God's got your back. These are the things I need you to know, because these are the things that are real. There are so many lies that we were told, and so many truths that were not given to you. They wipe our memory every time they recycle us, which is every lifetime. They're immortal, so they can just keep changing the storyline the way they want to. That's why it's so imperative that you learn to meditate and go inside. Our religions are quaint, but they are so falling short of truth. It's unreal. Now, you can worship any way you want, but you want to get your ass to heaven, then you better start listening to the inside of you, because that's where the kingdom of heaven is. That's where God is, and you're an integral piece of that. Don't you ever doubt it. I'm not perfect. None of us are. None of the real gods are. We just have learned over time that experience teaches you that there's going to be dark times. There's going to be good times. But there's always a force that is so far greater than us, that is always working with us. And especially here, where you didn't think you had any help at all, you actually have the help of the entire universe. All you got to do is go inside and make that connection. You're always connected. You just have to open it up so you understand it. Anyway, I really didn't want to get on a rant and rave, but these things are important to me, and your soul's important to me, and your existence and where you take it from here is important to me, because I know how much trouble I'm having just trying to just decide where in the fuck I'm going to go and what I'm going to do next. I know how hard it is what I'm saying. But do the work. And look at each other as brothers and sisters, because that's what you are. You have to see beneath and above and beyond the skin, the clothes, the color, the religion, the everything. We are all brothers and sisters. Let me call you brothers and sisters, just like Jesus did. We are part of the greater source, and we're integral parts. We're each unique and individual. How God wanted to experience life is your personality. Is it perfect? Hell no. He didn't expect it to be. He expected you to learn. He would feel it and experience it through you that way, because it's unlimited what we can experience. So that's why there's so many of us. But we're all actually a piece of God when you get right down to the skin and bones of it all. Or beneath the skin and bones, I guess I should say. So, anyway, that's my tantrum today. I'm sorry I didn't put my damn teeth in either to talk. But I just wanted to kind of spit this out there, and it was heavy on my heart, heavy on my head, and I've been doing a lot of that, shadow work and, spiritual warfare and being attacked for, awakening, because they don't like it, But I actually got to see my aura finally, and it's really fucking cool. So, anyway, that's a whole nother story. There's fun things too. I mean, I want you to know that you are the power. You, individually, are the power. No one else. And no one can be the power for you. This is the biggest thing you gotta understand. And it sounds scary and frightening, but it's not. It's the most empowering experience you'll ever have. Because that's how important you are to God. He wants you to know how powerful you are, all by your little lonesome. So if you find yourself alone right now, that's okay. You're never alone. There's always angels everywhere. And you've always got your own set of guides and angels. And light beings and aliens, however you want to look at it. But getting back home it's not done as a group. It is done on an individual basis. Each heart will be analyzed. It's where your heart is sitting. And then you'll be tested to see where all your judgments are and this and that. And you'll work through them. And it's okay. Just relax into it and go into it. I went in so deep that it was like I couldn't find anything else. It was like, oh shit. But anyway, that's because I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm not afraid to look at my own shortcomings and work on them. The God doesn't expect you to be perfect right now. What He expects, though, is that your heart is pure. So get your hearts pure. Clean up your act. And just ignore those bozos completely. I take a few of them, set them on a cloud somewhere, in the Andromeda section of the universe. Anyway, love you. Ciao.